Welcome to Creating Disney Magic with Lee Cockerell, lessons in leadership, management, and customer service. You can create magic too. I'm your host, Jody Mayberry, and of course, I'm here with Lee Cockerell. How are you doing, Lee?
I'm good, sir. Good to see you.
Yes, always good to see you. And Lee and I are going to be in California together very soon. We probably will record an episode on location there. I don't know about Lee, but I'm going to visit Disneyland while I'm there. It'll be my first trip to Disneyland in quite a while. And if you're going to visit Disneyland or Disney World, call our friends at Magical Vacation Planner. You can reach them at 407 442 2694. That's who I get in touch with anytime I want to visit a theme park. Lee, I have a combined question, or two questions combined into one because the essence and the spirit of these questions are the same. So the first one comes from a health and fitness coach. And he said, I provide the training, the education, what they need to do, how they need to do it. I provide them a program, but the they don't always do what they're supposed to do, his customers. So his question, I'm going to tell you the question, then I'll bounce right to the next because they'll have close to the same answer. He said, how would you recommend approaching hard truths with this type of customer isn't doing their work and they shift the blame to me or the brand? How do you recover and maintain their confidence? So that's number one. Number two comes from a consultant. And she said that her clients believe what she says, but then they always, maybe not always, often have a counter argument or say, I saw on the internet that I should be doing this, which is always broad and doesn't always apply to them. How can I deliver excellent customer service if they don't actually put my good advice to use? So, Lee, you've done a lot of consulting, a lot of coaching. I'm sure you've had that. You tell an organization this is what you need to do, and they don't follow through. So, what do you do in that case?
It's true, and I know where they're coming from because it happens to me all the time. And I know now when I finish a workshop or a speech or even coaching somebody, I kind of get a little more stern, and I say to the group, even though they're paying me, but I got the money already. So I tell them, I know that most of you are going to go back to work Monday and not do anything. I know you are. This is human nature because it's hard to go back and change your habits, to get to work a little earlier, to do this, to do that. And I say to the meeting, to the person, and I'm usually dealing with the meeting planner or the CEO or somebody like that. I said, well, let me tell you one thing. You've hired me to give a speech, and I will, or a 3 hour workshop, and I will. But I'm going to tell you one thing. The key is how are you going to keep this alive when you go back to work? Are they going to hear from you every morning or once a week about, hey, what we learned at Lee? Well, are we doing this? I want to hear from them. I want people. Uh, you, the leader, has to make this happen because changing people's habits is brutal. And they go back to a conference, and when they get hear me lit, and when they get finished with me speaking to them, they're all ready to go. Man, they're going to change the world. I know how they feel. I can see it, and then you get back to work Monday morning, and life takes over again, and you're what got to have problems at home and traffic and get to work and your boss is being unreasonable and it's hard to implement those things. And I think you got to be, I think maybe being more straightforward in the workout situation. I know where I go, mine's scheduled, and he has the same thing. We see it all the time. I tell him, you know what, the main thing I tell him, make sure when you start with somebody, don't go too hard. Don't make them too tired because they won't come back. Just take it easy and move them in gradually. But I think, unfortunately, the fact of the matter is, most people are not going to take advantage of something they learned. It's life is very hectic and it's very hard, and we have all these emotional reasons, and it's your brain can talk you out of something so fast it's unbelievable. when when your brain says clean out your garage, well, your brain can figure out a lot of reasons you shouldn't do that, or you can do it later. And it's a problem. I think it's something to talk about in advance with a client, those one-on-one clients like work. Let me tell you what, let me explain to you what happens here. This will make a huge difference in your life. There's no question about that. And here are the kinds of things we're going to do. And there's some days you're not going to want to do it, or you're going to think the price is too much, or you don't want to pay, or and on those tough days, just remember you're doing this for your family. You're doing it for your daughter, for your mom and dad, that you're around and you're healthy. And you're a guy wrote me a couple of days ago, and he said, "Lee, I listened to your podcast, and I'm I'm busy working at Disney, and I'm getting my MBA, and I got up early. I didn't get much sleep last night because I worked late, and I dropped my daughter at school. And I just wanted to go back and get in bed, and I was thinking about what you said, and then I went back and started studying at 8 in the morning instead of getting back in bed. And I wrote him back and I said, "Yeah, but remember, you did that for your daughter. You did that for your wife to have more success in your life, be able to offer them, take care of them in a better way. It's for them." And I said, if you'll remember that every morning, that'll even help you get focused that you're doing it for that little girl. You're not doing it for you. And I think we got to try to emotionally have those conversations up front when they sign up, and then frequently. And I know when I first started, I've been working out with my guy for 15 years, and I still don't want to go sometimes, but I'm scheduled and I go, and it's I mean, they don't play around. My trainer right now is a Marine, ex-Marine. I mean, he tries to kill me. But boy, I feel great. I sleep better. I'm healthy. All my blood work is good. It's helped my self-discipline. And always when I'm driving there, I'm kind of wishing maybe I wouldn't. But when I'm driving home after I've done it, and this is a lot psychological of figuring out, okay, you got a program you're selling, but how do you really sell it? How do you sell it to the brain? How do you sell it emotionally of the long-term game of this is going to pay off later? It's going to pay off later when you're not getting bypass surgery. This is going to pay off later when you're so much more successful and I know that. I mean, and the long game is hard for people because it's hard. And like I told you earlier, when I have anxiety now, it's hard to have a hard conversation with somebody that's causing my anxiety. But now I just do it, and then I sleep better. I used to let it go, and I worried about it, and they didn't. They were causing it for me. And just being straightforward. And somebody said, "Well, you may not have any more friends." Well, that's okay, but I'm going to be sleeping good. I'm not going to be going around worrying about something somebody else is causing when I could just have a conversation and try to clear it up. And they probably don't even know. People need a lot of encouragement. People need a lot of encouragement these days. And when I think about your kids do, your students need it. They're really suffering in school. They need encouragement. People tell them, "You're doing good, you're good. When you're having a problem, I'm here. Come to me. Let me show you. When you think it's too hard, tell me. We'll adjust it a bit." And you got to kind of bring them along until you get into that pace, especially with exercise. You get into a pace where now you're going to do it. I mean, because you feel so much better and you feel so much whatever you're trying to do in your life. But it doesn't only affect your body, it affects your mind, and you get more positive in every area of your life when you feel good. And so I think the psychologically those two people need to get the story together of preparing people when before you present and when before you start, and then make sure you're doing it every day, uh, reminding people, reminding people, reminding people. And at the end of the day, I always tell people I tell them, always remember one thing: you know what to do. You know what to do, so do it. And quit coming up with excuses, because we all know what we need to do. We know what is annoying us or not working well, and we got to learn to get it out, because that's the only way I feel better, you feel better, and we make progress and we get on the same page. And I think that is something people don't like to do because that is hard. That's had the hard, those hard. Your mother didn't have any problem doing it. hard conversations, but we somehow do. We want to be nice. We want to, well, the customer's paying me. And then you even ought to do it more because give them full value and tell them, I'm going to push you hard and let's be on the same page. And if you're not happy, tell me and we'll adjust it. We'll get you there and we'll work through this. But I know in gyms right now, thousands of people across the world have signed up and they're not going to be there in a couple more weeks. That's why all these big gyms, they love it. People sign up, give them your credit card, they forget to they forget to cancel, and they never come back. And for 3 years, you collect their money every month. It's unbelievable. But New Year's resolutions, and I think said before, stop making New Year's resolutions and think about what you need to be doing every morning to make your life better, your health, particularly your health, and probably your behavior and your ability. How are you going to improve your ability, your health, your attitude, your personality? How do you how do you get that anxiety out of your life so you can focus on the positive things? And that's it's hard. Everybody's trying to figure that out. And the problem is it's hard. If you can do hard things, you'll get through it. If you can't, you'll wish you had. So that's and I wished I had for a long time. I mean, this has been well, my whole life. I've let things go that I should have spoken up. I should have pushed back. I should have got that off my chest. I guess when you get older, you just eventually you learn. And now I live a better life because and when you do that, when you have that carbon, you're teaching. You're even offering them more than they're paying for when you help them deal with it and to follow through. You've added an extra benefit to their workout. Yeah, because when you
Yeah,
can
and
go to the workout every week, then you can follow up on other things. You start to learn to be more disciplined. Yeah.
yeah, that's right. Well, the what I'm about to say is slightly different than the two scenarios I gave questions for. But Lee and I have done for 8 years or however long we did them, the creating magic masterminds. And people come to these and we give them advice and what should happen, but we have no control whether they do it or not when they leave. So the steps we've taken is we prepare them before they come, giving them a document to fill out to make the most of their time with us. And then we give them a document at the end called the Magic Action Plan to try to encourage them to take action when they leave by writing some things down that we think will help. And then we have a call with them 90 days later to try to hold them accountable because the thought is if you have to show up and tell Lee whether you did or did not do anything, then maybe it'll encourage you to do it. But what we found, the only people who show up for that 90-day call are the people that did something. If they didn't do anything, they don't come to the 90-day call. So it's the same thing. What can you do? Well, the best you can do is hope to, yes, you give the plan. This is what you could and should do, and then hope to inspire them enough to stick with it and make a change.
And repetition is really important. That encouragement is repetition of encouragement is important. We can do it with our kids every morning. We tell them we love them. Good morning, I love. Be careful out there. Repetition. And just when you finish a workout, as they're walking out the door, saying, "Lead, hey, you did a great job today. See you Thursday. That was really good. You're making progress." You don't. That goes in your brain. I said, "What goes in stays in," and so don't. A lot of people have problem giving encouragement. You know, mothers and grandparents don't. Our grandkids get more attention when they come to our house because we just do it. That's why they want to come here. I told them one time my grandkids like me better than their parents. So, but to create that, this is good. You're feeding the brain and just like you're feeding your muscles, you're building that resistance up in your mind too that, okay, I can do this. Yeah.
I like that. I said inspiration. Lee went further to say repetition of encouragement. And I do think that is inspiration. You can really inspire people by encouragement because so few people get encouragement. And then a very small percentage of that get repetition of encouragement. So if we take the gym, for example, if I'm working with a trainer and I know, yes, I'm going to get pushed really hard, but that trainer is going to make me feel really good about my progress, really good of my commitment to show up, really good about the dedication I have towards making myself better for my family. I'm going to keep showing up. Maybe that's it. Maybe you get now as a business consultant in the other example, that takes a different form or format, the repetition of encouragement. But I think Lee's on to something. You get to inspiration by repetition of encouragement. So I'm glad you brought that up, Lee.
Yeah, very good. So people know what to do. We'll just leave it at that.
Yeah, yeah, there you go. We had an episode not long ago that was the whole theme. You know what to do. So
Knowing
yeah,
and
now
doing. Knowing and
yeah,
doing.
knowing and doing. People know what, even at the Creating Magic Mastermind, almost everyone that comes, we didn't tell them anything they hadn't already thought. They knew before they came that what they needed to do. They just needed the right inspiration to actually go back and do it.
Exactly.
All right. Well, if you have a question or a topic, reach out to either one of us. Lee's at leecockerell.com. I'm at jodymayberry.com. You can find everything we're up to at cockerellstore.com. All of the courses, the books, whatnot is all right there. Until next week, go out and create magic for others.